Okay, ladies and gentlemen and children, you're all in the class 12. So we would like to call you gentlemen and ladies. Please accept it. Yesterday we had a very small discussion on the most important event in the universe, the evolution. We just had a little discussion on how the different types of activities were there in the concept of evolution. Today we are going to examine in the evolution PART-2 origin of life. So we will just try to find out by way of discussing the points given in your textbook about the concept of origin of life. We know that the universe came into existence, and then after the universe came into existence, which includes many galaxies and cosmic bodies and cosmic dust and everything connected with the galaxy, then evolved our galaxy, what we call the Milky Way. In that, evolution of the solar system took place, and then the Earth was evolved, and then simple life, and then the regular life. So now, today, we will just try to understand the first forms of life that came into Earth. The other part, how the different forms have evolved, will be in the next sessions. So what we do, we will examine the timeline. I have given you a timeline here, which is again given in your textbook. I have just expanded that. If you look at this end to this end, I have drawn a line, and that line we call it timeline. In this timeline is not in terms of minutes or in terms of hours or in terms of days, but in terms of billions of years. So the first question we ask and we answer will be, when did universe evolve? Evolve means came. What do you mean by that? What I mean to say is that maybe in the very early part of the evolution of the universe, there was space, and in the space there was content, but these were not observable. So it is the speculation of the human beings. Nobody can tell what happened billions of years ago. So we speculate, we theorize, we start from today, 2021, and we peep into the past. We go back to the past of the entire universe. So 2020 billion years ago, what happened with scientists, philosophers, theologians, thinkers, all these people discuss and evolve at certain ideas. Even the ideas are evolved. So, not observable space and the content became observable. That can be seen, and that is what's the universe. The universe itself is, how did the universe came into being? That question itself is a very huge question, and the answer is very short for it. No one can explain, no one can tell exactly what happened, but everything is theorized. At least there are three important theories or ideas given by scientists about the evolution of the universe, how the universe unfolded, how the universe came into being from something that was there in the space. Space is unimaginable area, unimaginable time, and unimaginable contents in that, the cosmic content in that. So one is called Big Bang theory, that was given in 1927. You just remember that 1927 is almost the last century, 2 centuries ago. So until such a time, there were hundreds of people, thousands of people born, dead, and everything, but nothing was known. But only during 1927, Big Bang theory came into being. What does it mean? That's one thing. Second, steady state theory was pronounced by somebody, and then pulsating theory also came into being. So three important ideas, three important theories, three important thinking has come up to explain the origin of universe. We are talking of only universe at the being, and the time would be 20 billion years ago. BYA stands for billion years ago. MYA stands for million years ago. So this is the thing, you please remember that. So what happened at the time? Let's take up the Big Bang theory. What does it mean? It says that the space had a highly dense content. What was the content? Perhaps if you think it is only the cosmic content, content that did not belong to any place, it is cosmic. Nature produced it. If you want to call God produced it, you will understand that. Or if you call it creator, okay, take it. So there was a cosmic content available. And that cosmic content was there, that was highly dense. Means highly packed, completely packed. And because of complete tight packing, maybe there was intense heat in the area. What was the amount, what kind of things were not known. It's only a theory. And that dense content, which was very, very dense, due to high temperature, there was a explosion. That's the Big Bang. It's called Big Bang. There was a Big Bang. Means an explosion. When explosion happens, whatever the content is there, that will be expanded. It goes and falls apart. You have seen the nuclear bombardment in movies, in pictures. When a nuclear bomb explodes, the content near the area will be thrown away. That you call expansion. It expands. Similarly, the cosmic content expanded. When it expanded, the temperature in the central zone was there, but as the material went far away, millions and millions of miles away, that became cool and cooler and cooler, and those areas become visible, and that became the cosmic content and what's called the universe. So universe came into existence because of the Big Bang of the cosmic material. Beyond that, we can't explain you much. The second theory tells that came up in 1949, steady state theory. This simply assumes one thing. Whatever is there, or whatever was there 20 million years ago, it was in a steady state. And that started expanding. When it started expanding, cooling started, and because of the cooling effect, the universe came into being. Well, what is right, wrong is not known, that is an idea. And the third idea talks about the pulsating theory. That also indicates that whatever the cosmic content was there in the space, and that was pulsating. That means sometimes it contracted, sometimes it expanded. Sometimes contracted, sometimes expanded. By this, the expansion keep on going, and the cooling started, and then the galaxies came. What do we mean by galaxy? Universe contains millions and millions of galaxies. A galaxy is, maybe imagine, is a cosmic arrangement, cosmic configuration of many stars and many asteroids and many other things. That is one galaxy. There are several hundred galaxies in the universe. And you know the distance between one cosmic body to another cosmic body, supposing you to say one star to another star, if you want to measure the distance, that is measured not in kilometers but in what's called the light years. The distance between the two cosmic bodies is measured in light year. That is the unit. What is that light year? Light year refers to the light traveling at the speed of 1,86,000 miles per second for 1 year. I mean, your head will start reeling when you want to even multiply that. 1.86 lakh multiplied by 24 multiplied by 365, that would be the distance between two cosmic bodies. It may be 1 light year, it may be 10 light year, it may be 100 light. So that is the vast thing we can't imagine. Even it's in our Samskriti, in our country, in India, we call it Brahmanda. Brahmanda means not known, nothing, nobody can explain what it is. That's what's Brahmanda. So these three years are there, but people normally vote for the Big Bang theory. That is the one steadily accepted by many scientists today. So according to Big Bang theory, the high density cosmic content exploded, and that explosion threw the cosmic content to hundreds and millions of light years, and that started cooling, and that formed the cosmic bodies. And these cosmic bodies will be in the form of galaxies, it may be asteroids, it may be cosmic dust, it may be cosmic environment. So they are all cosmic bodies, and the study of the cosmic bodies is known as cosmology. So if you want to study more on this, you can go to astronomy, and cosmology can be studied by various people. So that is the cosmic bodies are formed. In that, many galaxies were there. That is the birth of the universe. 20 billion years ago, a galaxy is formed. In that galaxy, there was one galaxy called Milky Way galaxy. This is our galaxy. The galaxy where our solar system is there, and where in the solar system our Earth is there. So we call it our galaxy, one of the galaxies. So that is the origin or the evolution of the galaxies and the universe. That contains stars, cosmic dust, gases, all these things are now observable. So when once the cosmic content became observable, it is called by name universe. That is the evolution of universe. From that timeline of 20 billion years, we will straight go into 4.5 billion years. What happened in that other 14.5 billion years, what happened is not known. But again an observable change came into being according to the scientists, and that is in the 4.5 billion years ago, perhaps the solar system evolved from the galaxy. From our galaxy, it was possible to observe the solar system, and solar system contains what? It contains all the sun, the star. Sun is a star, and around the sun we have the planets, 9 planets, maybe now it's called 10, and also 11th one they are telling, and then in that there is the planet called Earth. So all this happened because of the cooling system that happened almost for 14.5 billion years. The universe started cooling down because of the explosion. Then around 4 billion years ago, Earth started cooling. Earth was like a hot ball, it seems. I am also thrilled to know that Earth, we have seen in certain movies and also in the animated pictures, Earth looks like a hot ball. And that Earth started cooling down due to environmental changes, maybe torrential rains. That means rain started pouring not one day, 2 day, but years together, light started falling down. And when the rain started falling down years and years and years, and then a lot of water came down and cooled the earth. While earth was cooling, steam went up and that formed a kind of a gaseous state. And by the time the earth cooled so much that there was possibly some water also was there in that one. So earth started cooling and the primitive atmosphere came into existence. The primitive atmosphere, when I mean that one, primitive atmosphere is not like what we have today. Today we have oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous gases and some inert gases in our atmosphere. The primitive atmosphere may not be like that. So they say primitive atmosphere perhaps had hydrogen, because during the Big Bang theory they say hydrogen and helium were present. So hydrogen, perhaps methane, maybe ammonia, maybe carbon dioxide, and these were all the things present in the earth at that time. Because of the slight heat and these type of gases, there was a condition in the earth, and earth had by the time the ocean, and in the ocean, in the water medium, I would say the water medium, the molecules started coming up, and that was also very hot, and it was a type of a boiling type, and that was called organic soup. So organic soup came in 4 billion years ago. Organic soup contained primitive gases that might have included hydrogen, helium, methane, and then ammonia, maybe carbon dioxide. These gases were there, and they were forming a kind of a organic soup. They dissolved inside the water present and began organic soup about 4 billion years ago. And that happened. As it happened, then perhaps after 4 billion years completed, and we come to now million years, around 2000 million years ago. Just imagine, from 4 billion years, we are now jumping to 2000 million years ago. First observable cellular forms like living forms were observed. They were observable. That is the theory of the scientist. Please remember that. No one has seen that. No one was present 2000 million years ago. So it is perhaps that might have been foreign, and that particular thing is now called the organic evolution. So 2000 million years ago, evolution of the life started, and that life, how the life came into being, is explained by 3 different thoughts, or I would like to say 4 different thoughts are there. So we now have a small break and then recollect before we go. So we remember the cosmic content that was in the space exploded due to high density of the material and due to high temperature. There was a big bang of explosion explained by the Big Bang theory, and that has created the galaxies. galaxies is nothing but the cosmic content containing hundreds and thousands of stars, and then other cosmic materials, not cosmetic, it is cosmic materials. So in that, one of the galaxy called Milky Galaxy also was there. In that, the Earth was there. Earth was cooling down, and because of the cooling down, the primitive atmosphere that had some kind of gases like helium, methane, hydrogen, proton, neutron, and all these chemical parts started coming together, and they formed the organic goo. That means to say, now we are coming to the chemistry part. The chemicals present at that time, about 4 billion years ago, these chemicals took nearly 3.5 to 4 billion years on the line to form the first form of life. And that is how the chemical evolution of life came into being. So they have now found out chemical evolution was there, perhaps played a first step in the evolution of the first life on the earth. So there are 4 important ideas. One idea is spontaneous idea. So some Greek philosophers said that spontaneously, when the earth started cooling down, spontaneously life came into being. First form of life came into being. That's one thing they were told. And the second group of people said, no, they got the idea called panspermia, or spores, small seeds came from the other planet, came down via rain, and they got into the earth, and the earth started giving support for that, and the supporting system made the first life to come into being. That is the spore formation. And then the third one is from non-living chemicals. We know that when the earth cooled down, then it was possible. Earth had minerals. Earth contained many forms of different types of minerals, and water was there. And water is nothing but a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. Atmosphere had some type of a material, and all these things were made to the solar ultraviolet rays. The solar radiation made the chemicals to combine chemically and form the organic soup, and that might be the possible path of the origin of life, and that is the chemical pathway. So from the non-living materials like minerals and salts and other organic materials that was present in the earth at that time, earth was completely free from any living being at the time. So the first form of life might have evolved. We are using the word evolved from the non-living chemicals, and that became famous. So chemical evolution perhaps was started about 3 billion years ago. So around 3 billion years ago, somewhere here, the first type of the living type of material came. They are not living material, but something like a small fragments in the organic soup, they started coming up. They had the power of replication. That means they were able to produce of the same kind. So that gave the impression that there may be living system. So this is the 4 ideas. Please remember that. And the idea by Greeks was spontaneous theory, and Oparin is the Russian scientist. He said that the pre-existing non-life form, that means chemicals on the earth, produce the life by chemical reaction. And that is what Oparin said. Oparin's idea was further examined by Miller, and he created an artificial system where he combined hydrogen, oxygen, methane, ammonia in a vessel in the laboratory. I will be writing the diagram very shortly. And then he proved that these chemicals, when the high voltage electricity was given, produced some type of amino acids, some type of carbohydrates. So chemicals, small molecules of these chemicals were produced in the laboratory. So the history of our life tells that life came into existence on this planet Earth about 2000 million years ago, and then the life started changing. That is in the next chapter. The next chapter we'll be working on evolution of life forms. So now at this part of the time, what I do, I will rub off a little area here and try to write the diagram what Stanley has done the work to show to the people that the chemical evolution is the path. Chemical way is the path of production of the formation of life. So we will try to know that one. I will use my iPad to know the diagram so that I will write the correct diagram. Okay, I am showing that to you also here. He said he used a small tube like that, and this was again connected to some other cooling system, and then another tube came in here like that, and then he made certain arrangement like that, and this was connected to another bulb here, and he added something, and there was one more tube here, and this came all the way here, and this got into this tube, and from here one more tube went all the way up, and this had a tap arrangement here, and then this gave rise to one more tube coming here into this particular area, and then this was closed like that. So this is the closed system, and this is the type of the things he used it. So what are the things he used? We will check up now. So he kept here. I will use another color so that it will be easy for you to know. He took the 1 minute. He put the water here. That's the boiling water. Okay? And the boiling water was made to go up here. And then he connected this to a vacuum pump. It's connected here into a pump. And then he introduced here the electric sparks were given, their electrodes. Electrodes were given here. And then in this one, he put the gases. So what are the gases he took? He took methane, he took ammonia, then he took water, then he took hydrogen. And this was the arrangement, and then he made the current to flow when the sparks came out, and then the materials were all collected here. So when the sparks were given, these gases, they reacted, and then in this area, this is the type of a U-tube-like structure, I can almost write like this. So in this area, the materials started collecting here. So when he examined these materials, this contained the amino acids. So this is the work of the Stanley Miller, S.L. Miller, it's called Miller's experiment that proved the operant's idea that is pre-existing, that is methane ammonia, water and hydrogen are all, they are pre-existing chemicals, and when the things like the solar radiation, ultraviolet radiation all fall upon those things, they reacted, and when the reaction happened, there may be the production of the amino acid, indicating that the amino acids were produced in the laboratory. Even today we know how to produce amino acid. So we are now trying to we are trying to go back into 20 million years ago and imagine what is happening. Anyway, that clearly proved that the Big Bang theory is well accepted today, and the idea of the Oparin and Miller's idea has been accepted. That means there was the formation of universe, and universe had galaxies. In that galaxies, one of the galaxy was our Milky Way galaxy, and in the Milky Way galaxy we have the solar system. In the solar system, Earth is there. Earth formed sometimes about 4.5 billion years ago. Earth was like a hot ball, and that cooled due to torrential rains. Years and years and years rain started coming down, cooled it, and then it had some type of a temperature where the water was boiling, and also sunlight was falling on the water. Sunlight contained ultraviolet rays and other radiations, and the primitive atmosphere contained some gases, and that perhaps chemically reacted to produce the first type of the life-like material. I am using the word life-like material that had the capacity to produce its own copy. And that is a punch. It had a thing. So by that, people felt that it is the living being. So today we can produce the same thing in the laboratory, and Stanley Muller's experiment has been explained very clearly that the origin of life is because of the chemical pathway. It came through chemically. We will reject the idea of the spontaneous origin of life. We will reject it. We reject the formation by spores. We reject it. We accept the concept of the chemical evolution of life. We will stop here, and if we are believers in the Almighty God, we can accept saying that all of us the life has been formed by Almighty God, by Creator. Yes, that is one part. But if you go scientifically, if you want to establish the facts by scientific methods, then the only way is to believe, accept the theories proposed by the earlier scientists. Even today, the cosmic scientists are working on these things. Perhaps when you go to higher classes, if you study astronomy or cosmology, you will be able to learn more about this. And we stop here. You have many questions to ask. I have many questions to ask myself, but answers are not known. But it's better at the 12th level. Remember that the galaxies were formed 20 million years ago, and due to Big Bang theory, and then life came into existence about 2000 million years ago, and the origin of life is by chemical pathway. That means the simple pre-existing molecules combined into the form of the life-like material. From there, the life started originating. So in the next class, we will be working on how the different forms of life came into existence. Thank you.